What's up guys, Behringer here, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing video. This time, we've got the Duel Decks Anthology. We're finally gonna get to open this. And throughout the course of this video, bam, someone's gonna win this fat pack that I stuffed full of awesome stuff. Someone's getting this. So let's get into it. Now, this box barely fits in the camera, but this Duel Decks Anthology, like any reprint set or any set that has a lot of valuable cards reprinted in it, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this. And I want to talk about it a little bit. I mean, as you guys, I'm sure know, this has the first 4 Duel decks ever made in it. Oh, which are right here. You know, it's got your elves versus goblins. It's got your Jace versus Chandra, your divine versus demonic, and your Garrett versus Liliana. Now, you know, there's a lot of mixed feelings about reprint sets. I mean, I can see both sides of it. I mean, if you're a collector and you've been holding on to valuable cards, and all of a sudden they go down in price because they've been reprinted, that sucks. But also, I mean, reprints are kind of necessary just because, you know, cards, you know, they get worn out over time, so have to be replaced. And in the case of these, like these first 4 Duel decks weren't printed. They didn't print near as many of them as they do like the current ones. Like if you go to pick up, you know, Speed versus Cunning or something, they printed a bazillion of those, whereas these are pretty limited. So I see both sides of it. Some people don't like reprints, some people do. I'm a collector and a player. I don't care either way. I just like opening awesome stuff. So, okay, this is kind of so right away we've got all 8 decks, and I think what I'll do, and 2, oh, these are actually blinged out sparkly die 20s that we've got going on here. If this will focus, you can see that, but it doesn't want to. Come on. Anyways, this camera's being a pain. You can't see it, but I promise these are blinged out. And we got our decks. Oh, in the cheapest boxes ever. That's fine though. I'm just gonna take them all out. Divine Demonic, Jace, Elves, Goblins. And get this big box out of the way here. This thing's a little bit unnecessary. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's not gonna work either. Man, would have said it there. You can't see that, but this thing's just huge. I don't know what to do with it. So actually, that's gonna be in the way too. We're getting, you know, okay. Look, final look. Great, we're getting this thing out of the way. Jesus Christ, it's blocking my other screen there. So, what I'll do is I'll go through each one, starting with the elves. And these boxes, the art is shiny, and I like the art, and it looks cool and stuff. But these are just like the boxes that come in the fat packs, like exactly. I would never use those boxes. I mean, they look like they'd fit. Even sleeve. I mean, if I put sleeves on these, it looks like they'd fit them, but I don't care. I'd still never use them. They really skimped on that one. You really skimped on that one, didn't you, Wizards? Dear God. So, right up front, we've got a foil Ambush Commander. And that's going to be a 5 mana elf creature, 2/2, forest you control are 1/1 green elf creatures that are still lands. You can pay 2 to sacrifice an elf. Target creature gets +3/+3 till the end of the turn. So that's pretty cool. However, it's not worth anything. Even the foil version's only worth like $2. So, and as you can see, these were one thing about this set. This everything made M15 and newer is printed in these new frames, which have the little anti-theft hologram on the bottom, which that's kind of cool. Especially when I have received several counterfeit cards, repackaged items, sorted boxes, etc. Anything they do to kind of stop counterfeiting, I like. But this one is the Allosaurus Rider. It's a rare elf warrior creature. You may exile 2 green cards from your hand rather than play Allosaurus Rider's mana cost. Allosaurus Rider's power and toughness are equal to 1+ the number of lands you control. So, the classic big green creature. Unfortunately, it ain't worth anything. Less than $1 if you can even sell it. The next rare we've got here is Voice of the Woods, 5 mana elf creature. Tap 5 untapped elves you control. Put a 7/7 green elemental creature token with trample onto the battlefield. And let's see that one. Once again, worth less than $1 if you can even sell the thing. Next rare, Slate of Ancestry. It's an artifact. You can pay 4 and tap it. Discard your hand. Draw a card for each creature you control. I already know that without even looking, this thing's worth nothing. Let's double check though. Yeah, less than $1 if you can sell it. Then we've got. Now I never opened the original one, but I know originally a lot of these tokens had really rare, limited artwork. But I don't know if that's true anymore. This one has a lot of tokens in it. All those are tokens. And now we're into commons and uncommons. And I know that there are, like this one, you actually get 2 Imperious Perfects. I know this set, these dual decks are going to have a lot of valuable uncommons in them, and I'll point those out to you. This isn't really a deck review, this is just a, let's find expensive cards like I always do. This bad boy, 3 mana, other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. You can pay 1 and tap it, put a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token onto the battlefield. Now this is worth about $5, but I think it's worth noting. Oh, and since it's not technically a rare, it doesn't get the hologram, but it's worth noting that these were, before this was printed, these were worth like $10. So the dual decks, so being reprinted basically cut the value in half of them. So I'm just gonna double check a couple things. I mean, there's really nothing else of note in here. I mean, there's a Wirewood Herald. It's worth a couple bucks. Or is it the Syndicate? Oh, no, just kidding. The Symbiote is the one that's worth a couple bucks. which I can show that off, but really this deck, the rest of it is just commons and uncommons. There's nothing really worth noting anymore. It used to be that a lot of these were worth a lot more, but like Elvish Promenade, for example. But since the reprinting, and the values going down because of the reprinting, there's really not anything else in the deck of note. I'm just gonna double check, but I don't think so. Elvish Harbinger. Not sure on that one. Let me look. Well, worth $2, but I believe it was worth $5 before this was printed. So cool. So let's go to the next one, which is going to be our Goblin deck. Once again, like I bet that this will rip just opening it. That's what it feels like. Yeah, it did. Look at this. Come on, Wizards. For $100, you couldn't at least hit Ultra Pro up to make some like semi-good cases. Come on now. Come on now. And that does not want to open. So let's get the knife. So I actually got this set for Christmas. I keep saying things like fur and ain. I've lived in Montana too long. And I'm just not getting around to opening it. So that's funny. My wife actually got it for me. So our foil rare is going to be Siege Gang Commander, 5 mana, Goblin Creature, 2/2. When Siege Gang Commander enters the battlefield, put 3/1/1 red Goblin Creature tokens onto the battlefield. Or you can pay 2 to sacrifice a Goblin. Siege Gang Commander deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So it looks cool. However, is it worth anything? Not even $2. So our next one's going to be Click Slither. And it's going to be 4 mana, insect creature, 3/3 with haste. Sacrifice a Goblin. Click Slither creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample until the end of the turn. Is he worth anything? I'm not going to be too familiar with a lot of these cards. No, not at all. Not at all. You couldn't give that one away, apparently. So IB Halfheart, Goblin Tactician, 4 mana, legendary creature, Goblin Advisor. Whenever another Goblin you control becomes blocked, sacrifice it. If you do, it deals 4 damage to each creature blocking it. Sacrifice 2 mountains. Put 2 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. Everybody but me charge. I actually like this card, and it seems like a good card. However, is it worth anything? No. Not even $1. I still like that card, though. Next one's going to be Skirk Fire Marshal, 5 mana Goblin. It's got protection from red, tap 5 untapped goblins you control. Skirk Fire Marshal deals 10 damage to each creature and each player. It's a 2/2. This is actually really good in this deck, because this deck seems to be like a Goblin token spam deck. That card could be pretty good. However, is it worth anything? No. Not even. And in fact, this whole deck really is, from a price standpoint, is pretty worthless. The highest value card in this deck is Goblin Ringleader, coming in at $1.90. And this is the highest value card of this entire deck. So, I think we're done with that one. Moving on here, we'll do the Jace deck. And, oh, it didn't rip, but it bent. I can't get over how cheap those boxes are for a $100 set. Whatevs. And since, I think if I would have made this video like right when this came out and the prices for a lot of these cards were still high, there'd be a lot more cards to talk about. But I'm kind of glad I waited, because now, the impact of this reprinted set has had time to come into play. So we're seeing really the true value of these cards now after the reprint impact. So it's pretty cool. So in a way, I'm kind of glad I waited. We're seeing really the effects of that these reprints have on stuff. But of course, we got Jace Beleren, and this is probably the cheapest casting cost for any Planeswalker I've seen yet. 3 mana, 3 loyalty starts off with. Add 2 loyalty. Each player draws a card. -1, target player draws a card. And then his ultimate for 10 loyalty. Target player puts the top 20 cards of her library into her graveyard. Huh. That's pretty cool. That's actually a pretty damn good card. And the value on that is, I think, like $8 or $9. Let me double check. Where are you at, Jace? Yep. $8.59 as of today, so and then our next rare is going to be Guile. It's going to cost 6 mana, 6/6, elemental incarnation creature. Guile can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. If a spell or ability you control would counter a spell, instead exile that spell and you may play that card without paying its mana cost. When Guile is put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. Seems to me like a good card. 6 for a 6/6 with these kind of perks. Seems really good to me. However, card's worth literally nothing. You can't even give those away apparently at 37 cents. So must be something wrong with it that I'm missing. Next one's gonna be for 6 mana again. Quicksilver Dragon. 5/5 flyer. You can pay 1 if target spell has only 1 target, and that target is Quicksilver Dragon. Change that spell's target to another creature. And it's got Morph also. And that one, yeah, nothing. Not even $1. I believe this one's worth some money. I believe it is. Yep, $7.68. Ancestral Vision. It's a sorcery. It's got Suspend. Rather than cast this card from your hand, pay 1 and exile it with 4 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter. When the last is removed, cast it without paying its mana cost. Target player draws 3 cards. And I guess you have really no choice. It has no mana cost, so you have no choice but to suspend it, I think. And other than that, any other cards of note in here? Kinda. You've got... I saw a counterspell on the list. Oh, and Daze. Probably the most valuable common I've seen, coming in at a couple bucks for that one. Got counterspell worth a couple bucks. Oh, 2 of them. Is Repulse worth anything? Excuse me. No. Condescend. They're common, worth a couple bucks. You don't want to focus? Don't want to focus? Whatever. Terrain Generator, worth a couple bucks. And then we got a bunch of lands, etc. So that's that one. And I'm gonna have to go back through those. And so let's move on to Chandra, whatever you want to call her. And I believe that, okay, randomly, they put the rules and reference and the guide in this deck. That's funny. And I don't know what it is about these red decks. This one's going to suffer from the same thing as the Goblin deck did, whereas it's got Chandra in it. She's worth like $4. But other than that, the whole deck's worth really nothing. Chandra Noir, 5 mana, comes with 6 loyalty. And +1, Chandra Noir deals 1 damage to target player. -X, Chandra deals X damage to target creature. And the ultimate for 8 loyalty, Chandra deals 10 damage to target player and each creature he or she controls. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So our first rare is going to be Rakdos Pit Dragon. It's going to be 4 mana, dragon creature, 3/3. For 2, Rakdos gains flying, and pay 1, Rakdos gets +1/+0. And it's got Hellbent. Rakdos Pit Dragon has Double Strike as long as you have no cards in hand. Huh. Okay. Next, and I don't think Rakdos is worth anything, but no, not even $1. Next one for 6 mana, Hostility, Elemental Incarnation creature. It's a 6/6 with haste. If a spell you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage. Put a 3/1 red Elemental Shaman creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each 1 damage prevented this way. When Hostility is put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. And once again, 6/6 for 6 with, you know, all these perks. Seems like it would be worth something. However, it's worth like nothing. You can't give those away. So, whatevs. And maybe it's something to do with the fact that since these dual decks, these are the first 4 dual decks, so these are probably like, I think, Legacy, a lot of these cards. I have to look that up. I bet you a lot of these cards are in Legacy format only, and that's probably why. That's probably why they're not worth anything. I get it. Okay, so next one's gonna be Demon Fire, X +1 sorcery. Demon Fire deals X damage to target creature or player. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead, and it also has Hellbent. If you have no cards in hand, Demon Fire can't be countered by spells or abilities, and the damage can't be prevented. Okay. And other than that, let's see. Well, it looks like the rest of this deck is beyond worthless, except for it does have, if I can find it, no, not Firebolt. It does have the good old Fire Blast. Yep, here we go. Oh, it has 2 of them. It has a good old Fire Blast, worth $2. But other than that, this deck is pretty uneventful. So, let us move on to the next one then. And that's going to be the Divine versus Demonic, which, if you guys have probably seen. If you haven't, you should go watch it. I bought one of the original Divine vs. Demonic Duel decks, like right before they announced this anthology. I bought one. $190 I paid for it. And then for that much money I could have bought 2 of these anthologies. But whatevs. And right off the bat I'm seeing something interesting. Which is a Chroma, Angel of Wrath. Used to be a rare, and now it's come up as a mythic. So you got your 8-mana legendary angel creature, 6/6 with flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, protection from black, and protection from red. This is a badass card. It's worth some money. Wow. It's down to $665. This card used to be worth twice that. And yeah, you know this new one. This new one, it's interesting. This new one's a mythic. Wrath is no vice when inflicted upon the deserving. Huh. Looks really nice, though. It's really interesting, though, that they made this a mythic instead of a rare. Huh. But yeah, I mean, maybe they do that in an attempt to not hurt the prices as bad. I don't know. But it definitely didn't help because, yeah, she's down to $6.65. I know that was well over 10 before. Next rare is going to be Twilight Shepherd. 6-mana angel once again. 5/5 flying vigilance. When Twilight Shepherd enters the battlefield, return to your hand all cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. And it's got persist. When this creature dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. So this is a pretty damn good card also, but I'm willing to bet it's worth absolutely nothing. Next one's gonna be Luminous Anal. Luminous Anal, yeah. Luminous Angel. Get tongue twisted. Who may like anal, I don't know. 7-mana angel creature. 4/4 flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Once again, yeah, worth absolutely nothing. This is one I know that's also worth nothing at all. That used to be worth at least a few dollars. Was Red Dawnbringer. 9-mana, 4/6 flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return a target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Another casualty of reprinting. Excuse me, I need some water out of my Burger King Star Trek glass. I usually use a Zoe one, but, you know, it was dirty, so I had to go with Chris Pine. Other than that, excuse me, let me look at this deck. Really, surprisingly, there's nothing else of value in this entire deck. Nothing even over $1. In fact, the Chroma is the only thing in the whole deck that's worth over $1. So that's interesting. And I know a lot of those cards were worth a lot more before the reprint, but yeah, now it's really killed them. Let's move to the demonic one and see what's in here. And I see right off the bat that they did the same thing with Lord of the Pit, where they... Okay, that was weird. I went to cut it and it just came apart. Lord of the Pit, they increased it to a mythic also. Unfortunately, that did not help its value. It's still worth nothing. That's going to be 7-mana, demon, 7/7, flying and trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature other than Lord of the Pit. If you can't, Lord of the Pit deals 7 damage to you. I'm pretty sure this said if you don't before. Now it says if you can't. Okay, but yeah, he's been bumped up to a mythic from rare. My summoning begins your dead planeswalker. Yeah, that's true. Too bad you suck. I'll double check his value, but I'm pretty sure he's worth nothing. Yeah, you can't give those away. The next one for 8 mana is going to be Reaver Demon. 6/6 flyer. When Reaver Demon enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, destroy all non-artifact, non-black creatures. They can't be regenerated. Okay. Reaver Demon. Are you worth anything? Probably not. Hell no. Not even $1. Yeah, I'm looking through this and I kind of know these, the value of these cards a little better than most because, I opened this deck before and, yeah, they really went down. Next one, Kiro Pit Lord. 9 mana, legendary creature, demon spirit, 9/9. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Kiro Pit Lord unless you pay for swamps. Pay 1 life, target creature gets -1/-1 until the end of the turn. And I already know he's worth nothing. Promise of Power is the next rare. And then the last one, I believe. It's going to be 5 mana, sorcery, choose one. You can draw 5 cards and you lose 5 life. Put an XX black demon creature token with flying onto the battlefield, where X is the number of cards in your hand as the token enters the battlefield. And it's got Entwine. You can choose both if you pay the Entwine cost. And you have some tokens, and in these tokens for both decks, for the Divine and the Demonic tokens both, the tokens themselves were worth a lot of money before this because it was all like limited, hard to find art on these. And they had no advertisements on the back, so I mean, that's a plus. But now I'm pretty sure they're worthless. Which sucks. And of course, there is still a valuable card in here. Well, couple actually. It does give you a couple dark rituals. And this is a common that's still worth a couple bucks. Especially, when it's the dual deck flavor. So you've got that. But of course we have the Demonic Tutor in here, which is the big money card of this deck. This is still worth $15. And yep, 2 mana, search your library for a card and put that card into your hand and shuffle your library. So, other than that, I'll put this aside, but other than that, yeah, there's really nothing left in here that's worth anything. So, we will move on to the Garrett versus Liliana, which is a tongue twister. And once again, it kills me these boxes are so cool. This is a cool picture of Garrick before he was all twisted into Garrick the Slayer. But they're just so cheap. So let's see what we got in here. Yeah, that Demonic Tutor is actually the most valuable card in this whole set, being worth $15. This Foil Garrick Wildspeaker is worth some money though. The non foil version is worth $8.10, so the foil is worth a decent amount. It's gonna have a 4 mana casting cost, 3 loyalty. You can pay +1 loyalty, untap 2 target lands. -1, put a 3/3 green beast creature token onto the battlefield. And -4, creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample. That's pretty cool. I'm getting a little tongue twisted. Too much reading. God damn it. Next rare is going to be Ravenous Baloth. 4 mana, beast creature, 4/4. Sacrifice a beast and gain 4 life. And that one, yeah, is worth nothing. 29 cents if you can give it away. The next one, Plated Slagworm. 7 mana. Worm creature with hexproof. It's an 8/8. And that's it, actually. That's pretty badass. So 7 mana for an 8/8 with hexproof. You would think this would be worth something. But it's not worth a damn thing. I'm thinking it has something to do with legacy. It's got to. If you guys know, let me know. Next rare, Rude Awakening, 5 mana sorcery, choose 1, untap all lands you control, or until the end of turn, lands you control become 2/2 creatures that are still lands, and it has Entwine. Is Rude Awakening worth anything? Probably not, no. And let's see. However, there are some things that are worth money here. Let me just find them for you guys. I don't think that one's one. No. This is one of them. The Rancor. And these are now officially the most valuable common I've ever seen at 450 each. Enchantment auras, pay 1 mana, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. When Rancor is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return Rancor to its owner's hand. This is a damn good card. It's pretty badass. The other one that's going to be worth something is going to be, if I can find it here. Yeah, right here. Harmonize. There's 2 of these also. And it's just simply, you pay 4 mana, and you draw 3 cards. It's uncommon. Which, I'm guessing the only reason it's got that much value, I mean, they're worth a couple bucks each, is because I don't think there's too many green cards that let you draw cards. That could be it. So we're on to our last one. Let's see. It's gonna be our Liliana Vess deck. And once again, it's gonna need the knife. And here we go. So of course we have, this is pretty badass artwork, by the way, in foil. 5 mana. Tongue twister. I'm done saying her name. Liliana. It comes with 5 loyalty. +1 loyalty. Target player discards a card. You can pay 2 to search your library for a card, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. And her ultimate for 8 loyalty is put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Now, one thing I like about the whole Planeswalker aspect that they added, which they didn't have, obviously, when I first started playing, is that it kind of forces you to target the Planeswalker first, as long as you're playing against someone who's using good Planeswalkers, which most of them are. Even the ones that aren't, very expensive are still really good. I mean, most of the time, in any case of any Planeswalker, obviously, if you let them get their ultimate off, it's pretty much game over. So since you can kill the planeswalker 9 times out of 10 faster than you can kill the actual player, it kind of forces you to target the planeswalker. And it's kind of adds another layer of strategy where, you know, sometimes you're playing the planeswalker not necessarily because of its abilities or whatever. It's to take the focus off of your health pool long enough so that you can get your thing going, get your combos going, you know, so that you can kind of, if the momentum's against you, it gives you a chance to switch the momentum in your favor. And I like that aspect of them, I really do. But, and let's see what she's worth actually. $7.24. And yeah, she's the only card in the entire demonic, in the entire deck that's worth over $1. So we'll still look at the rares though. We've got Skeletal Vampire, 6 mana, 3/3 flyer. When Skeletal Vampire enters the battlefield, put 2/1/1 black bat creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Or you can sacrifice a bat, put 2/1/1 black bat creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Or you can sacrifice a bat to regenerate a Skeletal Vampire. So it's got a lot going on. And it's a vampire skeleton. Okay. Next rare, Bad Moon. It's a 2-mana enchantment. Black creatures get +1/+1. Interesting. Then we've got, our next rare is Mutilate. 4 mana, sorcery. All creatures get -1/-1 until the end of the turn for each swamp you control. Why is that not worth something? Maybe you guys can tell me. And I'm pretty sure that's it. I'll double check here because I want to give you guys a complete picture of this. But yeah, there's nothing else. Nothing else in here worth mentioning. So that's that. That's the Duel Decks Anthology. And that's the meat of it. You got a lot of stuff that's not worth much. My opinion of the set, I like it. From whether you're collecting it or whether you're using it to fill in, you know, or beef up other decks you have, I think it's really cool. It's a cool product. I know a lot of people hate on it for a bunch of reasons, but I like it. And so now I have actually pre-drawn the winner for this prize pack, and that is going to be, and I know it's a first, I gotta get in the habit of that, pre-drawing it. That's going to be Patrick Wood. You are the winner of this prize pack, and like I say, it's not a Wizards sanctioned product. It's a fat pack box that I have stuffed with cool stuff. But I will send you a message, respond to it, and it will be in the mail. And I like this one because it has Garrick on it, so this is coming to you, bud. So anyways, that's been our Duel Decks Anthology unboxing. Once again, if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And I almost cringe saying that, but I'm doing it not because I'm trying to be YouTube famous or make money on YouTube or anything like that. It's just because I want to know you guys like the videos. And please comment too, because I read them all. I like the comments. I like talking to you guys. If you have any opinions on any of the stuff I've opened, if I got anything wrong, I'd like to hear from you. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.